Well, you know Star Trek's in trouble when even Forbes can't deny it. Oh, not only Forbes, the Mary Sue is admitting that Star Trek is in trouble. Hello, everyone. I am Mecha Random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube consumer advocate, Harpy, and I have a special guest on the start. So Rob Warning. There is Rob in this video. Who are you? Why are you here?
I am Rob Robot Showman from Midnight Judge After Dark, and I like Star Trek, or at least I did.
Until they made us hate it.
Yes. And for some reason, well, this is the power of math, people. That's where we are now.
Of course it is.
This is the power of math, people.
Yeah, so our buddy Scotty Mendelson is back.
How Paramount failed to turn Star Trek into a blockbuster franchise. Well, first off, it's a niche of a niche. Star Trek is never going to be Marvel. It's not going to be everything to everyone. One of the things with Star Trek is that it is very intellectual and heady and thinky. For a lot of people, it's kind of hard to wrap their brains around, and it's hard to pay attention to. It's hard to get into. It is a niche of a niche. Not every science fiction fan is going to like Star Trek. You know, Star Wars is a much bigger, more marketable thing. The Avengers, stuff like that. Stuff you can market it and get the normies in there and the moms and the housewives and the grandmas to go and see those movies. Star Trek is not one of those things. You have to have a special type of fan for Star Trek.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the fans they want aren't the ones that are going to be going to Star Trek movies, or they don't even like Star Trek. But, you know, I gotta remind you, though. I mean, do you remember this from about a year ago? We've come so far that now they're actually acknowledging Star Trek as a failure, at least on the movies and on the TV side, too. About roughly a year ago, Yahoo! Star Trek poised to become the new Marvel? Oh my, how things have changed.
Oh, poised to become the new Marvel as the merger brings the franchise under one fleet. Oh yeah, this is when they had the CBS Viacom merger and they were trying to go and elaborate this whole multiverse stuff. And they were going to try and have it appeal. This is exactly the problem. They keep trying. We told them a year ago. We told them, no, you have very specific fans for a very specific reason. And one of the problems with modern day Star Trek is they do anything to gatekeep the new fans out. They're so out to cater to these new fair weather fans that have appropriated the brand by having this blind brand loyalty for no other reason than to fit in at the conventions. It seems, and on Twitter,
it's all to appease people on like maybe a dozen people on Twitter. Really, I mean, let's face it. Let's just get down to brass tacks. Scotty Mendelson goes on and on about how, you know, it's not a blockbuster franchise.
Yeah, Paramount's experiment to turn Star Trek into an A-level blockbuster franchise was a resounding failure, and it's no more likely to succeed in today's unforgivable theatric marketplace. No crap. Because what happens when you just kind of swap out Star Trek for this action-adventure generic stuff? Well, your hardcore Star Trek fans aren't really going to care that much, because we want Star Trek for a specific thing.
Isn't that the case, though? I mean, it just... They're just really generic action movies, and they plug Star Trek into it. They put a Star Trek veneer on it. I mean, it could be anything.
It's like a chop shop. It's like going to a chop shop or and you know getting a Toyota with a Ferrari hood ornament on it.
It's worse. It's like going to the deli and ordering head cheese. You don't know really what's in it, and sometimes you're better off not knowing. It's just kind of an amalgamation of different parts of animals. You don't want to... Yeah, and the more you think about it, the more kind of grossed out you get, the more you start to not like it.
See,
so you've seen Corner Gas. I mean, the guy likes head cheese.
Yeah. Shout out to Corner Gas. That's like one of my favorite shows ever. So here's the thing. They like to say how much into like Star Trek Beyond bombed at the box office. while taking in 338 million to 185 million budget. So and then they go on here to talk about the success of the TV shows.
No,
But they
they're not
have no
successful.
numbers. They don't say what their subscriber base is. They don't say
No.
what kind of money they're making on these shows. They just give a generic, oh, well, CBS said so, so it must be true.
No, they're not successful. Let me ask you: did you see Star Trek Beyond?
The third one, yes, but I don't remember it. I had to watch
Yeah.
Everything Wrong with Star Trek Beyond to remember anything about it. And I
That's
watched
what
it
was
the
about to-
same day as I watched Ghostbusters 2016.
That's what I was about to ask you. What was Idris Elba's big plan?
I didn't remember he was in it until I saw the other. Like that's the whole thing.
That's-
Okay, it had like the alien chick, right? And
That's true.
yeah, I don't remember any of it.
Do you
That's
remember? Do you remember why Khan wanted to revenge on Kirk?
I didn't see that one. I heard it was bad, so I skipped it.
No. I mean, Wrath of Khan. the
Oh,
original.
yeah, because he left him on the planet.
Yeah, and Kirk blames him for the death of his wife, Marla MacGyver's.
Mhm.
You remember why they wanted the whales, right?
Because they had to communicate.
With the probe. Yeah, I mean, why can't those movies came out 30 years ago. Why
Uh-huh.
can't we remember a movie that came out 4 years ago?
I know. I saw
Because
Insurrection one time, and I remember it was about weird face stretchy aliens that had some weird anti-aging thingy.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, like I said, I don't know. It's Star Trek. Star Trek is not difficult to figure out, guys. I mean, the whole thing, like I said, you're too worried about spectacle. It's never been about spectacle. It's been about people and dealing with different kinds of issues. You know,
Are you
there's a
agreeing
whole-
with Rachel Leischman from the Mary Sue?
No, because even she's getting it wrong.
Well, she says figuring out where to take Star Trek movies is not hard, according to Rachel Leischman. Even she seems to think that they messed up here. I assume.
Well-
let me read this. Imagine making the best movie of a series and then suddenly rethinking the series rather than continuing the path of the success. Apparently, that's what happened with Star Trek. Filled with a perfect cast of actors, fill the shoes of the original series. The Kelvinverse of Trek has been one of my favorites. Well, no, bad Rachel Leischman. I love Chris Pine as Captain James T. Kirk, and I loved that they finally found their stride with Star Trek Beyond. But now, suddenly the studio has no idea what to do with the franchise? Well, it's more that they don't really have the money to do anything with it, and they can't con the investors into bringing back and paying Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth what they think that they are worth. Which they probably are worth. And I know you guys did a video on that.
Yeah, we did a couple of videos on it.
Sum it up.
Yeah, but
Sum it up, or did I just do that with the money thing?
No, you did that. Here's the thing, Rachel. What they're doing isn't working, which is why nobody gives a crap about these movies.
No.
Even J.J. Abrams told Quentin Tarantino, nobody cares, nobody likes it. Doesn't matter. Do whatever you want.
Well, no, but Star Trek Beyond was found their stride, and it was such a big hit. Actually, it wasn't. It was a bomb. It was good enough. It was good. It was something where if you saw it in the theater, you didn't feel like you wasted your money and you didn't want your money back. And that's all it needed to be. But no, these are not massive successes for what they're costing to make. They need to make them for a much cheaper price tag. Focus on the old school fans, appeasing them, appealing to them. Stop worrying about this modern day popcorn audience. Make a movie about DS9, Voyager, something like that. Not with the bad robot secret hideout people. It would have to be in the proper timeline of proper events, not even the Discovery timeline, which can easily be argued as a separate timeline if you look at the licensing.
25% different.
Yeah, I mean they can't make any money on any merchandise unless they change it to be 25% different than the original.
Yeah. Rachel says everything was finally starting to fall into place and work with the Kelvinverse. Now feels like their ideas for the futures are just throwing away what was working. It's not working, Rachel.
Yeah, it
It's
wasn't.
not.
She says, here's the
It's-
thing, just keep doing what you were doing. Well, okay, you had the good cast. You did have the good cast.
Yeah.
But the appeal to Star Trek isn't there for the films. Unless you're trying to appeal to the very core demographic. And you know why the previous Star Trek movies tended to not do too terribly at the box office, even when they did lose money, quote unquote? Because they had the existing sets, because they were filming on that stuff. And now what's going to happen? Now they're going to film on the Discovery sets, and they're going to still make the same mistake and make it in the modern day Discovery sort of aesthetic with the modern day sets and the modern day
Well,
visuals and uniforms.
they recycled the warp core from I think, what was it, from one of the TNG films for Voyager.
Mhm.
I mean, they at least recycled a lot of stuff. Which
Yeah,
they
and it
would
looked
save-
good,
save
and that's
money.
how it stayed in canon and continuity. Is that you had a standard uniform look. That's why they call it a uniform.
Yeah.
And that was one of the big deals. And you still had people writing in the spirit of Star Trek. That's not going to be the case. Even if you do the Tarantino Star Trek, even the Noah Hawley one, what are we going to get that's going to appeal to the old school Star Trek fans? Because right now you have such a split in these fandoms that your old school Star Trek fans are not going to spend money to go and see this in a theater, especially with all the theaters going under or being owned by the studios or everything else that they're doing right now. Isn't that another story that they did? They're all getting owned by the studios.
Do you remember when we were at Star Trek Las Vegas? I mean, the last day was pretty much all the Discovery panels, but I don't recall seeing the STD people being dressed in costumes or having any kind of memorabilia, merchandise, or any kind of that stuff. And the original series people went all out. They were in uniforms, they were in costume. They did a lot of cosplay. I mean,
Well, there's a lot of photo ops sort of things where you would get, the Ferengi in costume or the Klingons in costume. And those are all like DS9, TNG sort of people. Yeah.
yeah. But the whole idea is that Star Trek is passed down from father to son, mother to daughter, mother to son, father to daughter, whatever. Brother to younger brother to older brother, older brother to younger brother. You are not going to replace these fans. People like Rachel Leishman won't show up for a new movie. And they've even said, was her that said she was a bad feminist because she didn't go see
That
Captain
was
Marvel?
that actually was Princess Weeks.
Well, same difference.
Yeah,
So,
but
I mean,
they're all pretty much the same mindset.
yeah, I mean, like I said, these are not your fans. The fans there's fans like me, like Mecca, and there's ones that have kids who are gonna pass it down. This is Star Trek. I used to watch this when I was your age, and we actually buy crap. That's the other thing. But
Well, these new people buy the costumes and the badges so they can go to the convention and drink at the bar with all the other people.
But here's the thing, okay? Any solution? Now they're talking primarily about the movie side of this, but any solution, because now it's all under one umbrella. Unless I see the words "fire Alex Kurtzman," that's the wrong answer.
Absolutely.
So I was like, Sherry, I like to Sherry, say it with me. What's the right solution to Star Trek? Well, we need to no. Sherry Redstone, Emma Watts, who's head of the new department at Viacom CBS. She's figuring out where Star Trek has to go. Emma, you want to figure out where Star Trek has to go? Well, tell me, what do you have to do? Well, we need to reevaluate. No. There's only 3 words I want to hear. Fire Alex Kurtzman. Say it with me. Well, we feel no, Emma, you're not listening to me.
But she's
3
making it
little
her
words.
top priority in the process of figuring out which way to go according to deadline.
Well, our top priority is taking a look at no, Emma. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I need you to say it with me. Fire Alex Kurtzman. Nothing can get better unless that cultural locust is gone from Star Trek.
She seems
That's
to think
the-
that Star Trek Beyond was a great example of adapting Search for Spock. I don't remember anything about it being Search for Spock.
Spock was alive and well during that movie. Come on.
Don't
What is
listen
she-
to her. She doesn't know anything.
And people trying to appease people like Rachel Leishman are why we're in the pickle. We're in the pickle we're in. And I love pickles.
I got a jar in the fridge.
A
Oh.
nice burger, a nice hot dog.
Now everyone's seemingly confused on where to go with Trey, and it's really not hard. You had something that was working. Just keep doing that. Keep lightly cutting back to those original movies, and keep the cast of the Calvinverse together, please and thank you.
Calling back to the original movies, what was wrong with Into Darkness? It was just a rehash of Wrath of Khan with more expensive effects.
And the fourth movie we do get had better reference to whales. Wah.
No, they won't. Well, if it's made by Bad Robot, probably will. Because all he does is recycle everything anyway.
They'll be sharks because 25% different.
Fire Alex Kurtzman and Bad Robot and Secret Robot and
Rachel
Secret Hideout
Leishman. Ugh.
and Bad Reboots.
So yeah, it's in worse shape than I think they want you to understand, than they want to let on. They've got countless trolls and marketing accounts out there. They've got countless people writing hit pieces. They got countless people. So if you do interact with any of these people on social media, 9 times out of 10 they're going to be a marketing account. They're not a real person. They're not to be taken as somebody who's normal and mentally stable and well in the head. Tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. How would you fix Star Trek? Would you do what Rachel Leishman says? I know you probably would.
No, do not do what Rachel Leishman says.
She's making me snort. I will see you guys on the next video, live stream or wherever. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.